As the capital of the Tuscany region, birthplace to the Renaissance and home to some of the world's greatest pieces of art, Florence is a must place to visit if you're travelling through Italy. The cathedral, known as St Mary of the Flower, is a fantastic example of the city's breathtaking architecture and just one of the reasons Florence was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It was also home to one of Europe's most powerful and noble families, the Medicis, and the courtyard at Palazzo Vecchio was decorated to celebrate the wedding of the Grand Duke of Tuscany, Francesco I, of the Medici family. In fact, the city is steeped in history, and between the 14th and 16th centuries, Florence was regarded as one of the most important and influential cities in the world. You can't move in Florence without tripping over a museum, and if you really do only have time for one, it has to be the Accademia Gallery to visit arguably one of the world's most famous sculptures, Michelangelo's David, and at 13.5 feet tall, it dominates the main gallery. Sculpted between 1501 and 1504, the statue represents the biblical hero of David. But be warned, there's lots to see in the gallery and everyone visiting Florence wants to see him. So book your tickets in advance, as queuing in the hot summer temperatures can be unbearable. Italians are famous for lots of things, but they're synonymous with two: style and food. So as you'd imagine, there's no shortage of shops, stalls and markets selling everything from local veg, ice creams to all the leather goods you can imagine. In fact, Florence is a shopper's paradise, and with Italian leather being commonly acknowledged as possibly the best in the world, there's every leather product you could want. Sitting on the outskirts of Florence is Il Salviatino, a beautifully hand-restored 15th century villa, now one of the city's best luxury hotels. Set in 12 acres with awe-inspiring views of Florence and the rolling Tuscan landscape, this 45-bedroom boutique hotel combines Renaissance grandeur with 21st century luxury living. There's a variety of rooms and suites to choose from, but for art and history lovers, the alfresco suite is a dream and quintessential Renaissance retreat, with its 1886 frescoed ceiling by Brucci. The suite also boasts 2 oil canvases by Gabriele Vanderloo, known as Il Fiammingo. Here you'll find modern furnishings that sit alongside elegant leather sofas, generous open living spaces and huge windows that flood the rooms with light. The bedrooms ooze understated elegance, and the subtle addition of small motifs and crests gives the room a regal charm. A feature that's not perhaps for everyone is the 12th century stone bath in the centre of the suite. Don't worry if this isn't exactly your idea of creature comforts and you'd rather admire the hotel's history than experience it firsthand, there's a separate modern shower too. Whichever suite you choose at the Il Salviatino, the views over the countryside and out towards Florence are spectacular. And if you're keen to observe and learn as much as possible about traditional Florentine ways, then an excursion to the Antico Settificio Fiorentino silk factory is highly recommended. Since 1786, they've been producing some of the world's finest silk.
Allora, l'antico settificio nasce nel 1786, riporta i telai che prima erano nelle famiglie nobili in un unico luogo e chiaramente porta solo i telai a mano delle varie famiglie. Diciamo che Firenze aveva un comparto tessile, soprattutto per quello che riguarda la seta, di circa 8.000 telai, sparsi un po' proprio per tutta la città.
As well as producing some of the most luxurious fabrics in the world, Florence is also home to one of the world's most exclusive cooking ingredients, the truffle. Sometimes described as the golden mushroom, the truffle grows underground at the foot of trees. And as well as a spade to dig them up, you'll need an expert and their dog to help sniff them out.
White truffle, for us, the best country is in Italy, Alba in Piedmont and also Tuscany, that nobody knows, but it's a very important area for white truffles. I live in the province of Florence, and our association in Certaldo have really incredible good quality of white truffles. Of course, we have a second important varieties of black truffles. Truffles are mushrooms that grow under the soil. The difficulty to be found, the legend, the mysterious legend that are all around us, and of course the beauty of the taste. It could be that for one day you don't find nothing, and it could be a day that you find kilos.
It's impossible to think of Tuscany without conjuring up images of majestic cypress trees, rolling hills, and beautiful countryside. The Il Salviatino grounds are quintessentially Tuscan, and the tall trees provide some well-needed shade around the pool in the hot summer months. The hotel spa's also a great place to relax and unwind, with a range of de-stress and pampering treatments tailored to your every whim. The food, as you would expect from an Italian luxury hotel, is exquisite. Lamb, steak and swordfish dishes are amongst their favourites, all incredibly tender, succulent and full of flavour. And the vegetables are grown in an organic garden in the grounds. The desserts are simply to die for, but after eating at the hotel, I'd recommend an evening stroll to walk off your meal, and where better than a walk around the city to soak up the atmosphere of Florence at night. Here you'll find street entertainment, shops and restaurants that stay open late, so if you're a night owl, then the city won't disappoint. Florence is one of Italy's best cities. It's a fantastic destination for anyone who loves great food and fine art. And whether you're a couple looking for a romantic break or a family holiday, there's something here for everyone. In the Indian Ocean, south of India, lies Sri Lanka. Perhaps the slightly less travelled route of southern Asia's tourism scene, but that's changing. This idyllic Buddhist island resembles a place time forgot, where cows roam the lands, ancient monuments and temples are to be found almost everywhere, and rugged landscape is home to a wonderfully diverse range of animals, especially the elephant. This is an outdoor paradise, somewhere to totally escape and fall completely off the grid. Set within 58 acres of lush greenery is the Ulagalla Hotel, part of the small luxury hotel group. Once the ancestral estate of local Anuradhapura nobility, this hotel features 20 private ecologically built villas and a 150-year-old mansion at its centre.
Altogether we have three, Ulagalla being the flagship. Then there's one in Pasikuda, which is Uga Bay, and one in Trinco, which is Jungle Beach. Initially when they come to the property on the dirt track for about 3 kilometers from the main road, they just enter the assembly point and they look at the mansion and they just go wow. The mansion was built in 1916, so it's nearly 100 years old. Initially there was another mansion further down. Because even the villas and all that was done, it was elevated to be on stilts so that the guests could have an exceptional view of the whole property, of the 58 acres. Mainly you get a lot of peacocks around here. Of course you do get the monkeys running around, and of course the water monitors and so on. We are very hospitable. We are always friendly. We are always helpful. Tourism has built up, and it's actually one of our main industries at the moment after the Civil War, and definitely it's building up as it goes. And the people are also getting used to it because they were not used to it before. And I'm sure, it will really boom at the rate we are going.
The Ulagalla villas offer glass-walled panoramic views of the unspoiled landscape with your own private decking and plunge pool. The gentle use of woods give the villas a simple rustic feel, with 4-poster beds adding a touch of glamour and luxury. Every detail oozes style and provides, quite literally, the perfect opportunity for being more laid back. Getting around the hotel's grounds and villas is fairly relaxing too, with estate bikes for all guests to use and explore the estate's 58 acres. In stark contrast to the serenity of the hotel are the local towns. At first, they're a shock to the system. Buses, tuk-tuks and mopeds all noisily hurtling along the busy streets. But if the busy town of Anuradhapura is too much of a contrast after the hotel's calm, then there are plenty of smaller villages. Here you'll find local artists taking their inspiration from Sri Lanka's wildlife, and they're happy for you to watch them at work, even if a wooden souvenir isn't on your shopping list. Sri Lankan craftsmanship has a long and vibrant history. Over the centuries, the islanders have produced everything from lacework, elaborate metalworks and carvings in ivory and wood. Buddhas, Hindu gods and elephants are amongst the most popular carvings, and the size of the souvenir can vary greatly. Sri Lanka is a country whose Buddhist past is as prevalent today as it was thousands of years ago. Here you'll regularly see monks walking the streets. Ancient ancient ruins are everywhere, and perhaps one of the island's most significant is Jetavana. The temple represents tensions with the Theravada and Mahayana sects of Buddhism and is one of the tallest structures in the ancient world, standing 400 feet tall. It's an impressive building and a major feat of engineering, using approximately 93.3 million baked bricks to build it. The site covers just over 5.5 hectares and is estimated to have once housed 10,000 Buddhist monks. Buddhism was introduced in Sri Lanka in the 3rd century BC, so with such a lengthy heritage, there's a great array of temples, ancient monasteries and monuments to explore, both in the towns and hidden away in the island's dense forests. The city of Sigiriya is a site of major historical significance, which is dominated by a massive column of rock nearly 200 metres high. According to ancient manuscripts, King Kasyapa chose the site and top of the rock for his palace. Halfway up, he had a gate built in the form of a lion, hence the name of the palace, Lion Rock. Today, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and if you're feeling brave, you can climb to the top. Sri Lanka really is one of the most naturally beautiful islands in the Indian Ocean. It's a place to relax and enjoy an incredible, diverse wildlife with a vast species of animals and birds. But it's the elephant it's most famous for. A jeep safari really is the best way to get up close and personal with these amazing animals. But children are warned to keep still and quiet, as noise can upset them, and they've been known to charge. The Sri Lankan elephant is the largest and darkest of the Asian elephants. Herd sizes here range from 12 to 20 and are led by the eldest female, the matriarch. The World Wildlife Fund estimates that the elephant population has fallen almost 65% since the turn of the 19th century. Today, the species is a protected animal under Sri Lankan law. Having the chance to view these magnificent animals in their natural habitat is by far the best way to do it, and it's an excursion everyone should have on their list of things to do when visiting this part of the world. If the elephant safari has whetted your appetite for even more nature, then the Ulagalla resort with its 58 acres of private lush woodlands and gardens are the perfect place to head. Like all safaris, it means getting up early, quite literally at the crack of dawn, to enjoy the splendour of a new amazing day and an array of wild birds. It's definitely worth it, and I guarantee you won't be the only ones up at that time. Ulagalla offers one-to-one private VIP nature treks around the grounds. Of course, you could take the walk alone, but it's great having the expert on hand to identify the many species of birds and animals that live within the hotel's vast estate. One bird you'll be familiar with is the peacock, but perhaps not up a tree. In Sri Lanka, it's common, and these beautiful animals head up into the tree, especially with the morning dew, to keep their big tail feathers dry. birds you're likely to encounter are white-throated kingfishers, various species of sandpipers, birds of prey, and waders of all shapes and sizes. In fact, there's been 433 species recorded so far, many of which will never have been seen on the rivers and beaches of Europe. Sri Lanka is a beautiful country to see at any time. But as the dawn breaks and the sun begins to warm the lands, there's no doubt this is a magical way to start any day of your holiday. And if it's true escapism you're looking for, then Sri Lanka is the destination for you.